Hi everyone, this is Casey and welcome to my video tutorial. Today, I will be walking you through how I created this dashboard screen for a fitness app using Figma. I'll show you the process on how I created both the wireframe and the final mockup. Let's get started. To start, create a new draft and name it Wireframe Finals. Then select the frame tool and choose the mobile layout you like. For me, I choose the iPhone 16 Pro Max. Then I used regular shape to create the welcome message section, and I created a larger rectangular shape for the next section. I use the circle for the profile picture, then place two rectangular squares side by side for the next part, and place two more at the bottom. Next, at the top of the frame, I use the text tool to add a welcome message using the rectangular shapes and the circles to represent the user profile image and background. Keep it minimal since this is a low fidelity wireframe. You can add placeholder text, but I like to add the actual text so I know the layout of my design. Next is for the larger card. This is the for today's workout section. I added a small square followed by the text for the workout. I use icons or circles to represent the details of this section. Next, I use the text tool to add the text, the type of workout. I use triangle to add the start button, as the user will click this if they want to start their daily workout. So this, I added text to represent the calories, heart rate, and the set. Next is below that, I place two smaller cards side by side, one for the current streak and another for the weekly progress, using the text tool and dots and bars to visualize progress. So this section will help users stay motivated in doing their workout routines. As you can see, I added little circles as dots and grouped them. Make sure they are aligned perfectly. I did the same for the weekly progress card, using the text tool to add words. Then I added simple shapes to visualize progress. So next card is for the upcoming challenges. I also use rectangles and labels to represent each challenge. Include join buttons aligned to the right I also added circles for icons. Make sure they are aligned perfectly and the size is the same. Then I added text to that. Next, this is the card for the performance metrics weekly. So create a bar graph layout using vertical rectangles for performance matrix. As you can see, I grouped these rectangles to create the matrix. And then label the top with text. Including calories, strength, and the days. Make sure the spacing is correct, so I adjusted them. The last section is for the quick access row. I add a horizontal set of circles. This is for the nav bar, but I will be discarding them and redoing them later. I use circles for the background of the icons. This will include access to the community, challenges, progress, and settings. Make sure they are aligned. As you can see, I once again put the navigation bar icons and see if they are visually appealing. Next, I adjusted the alignment of the text and see what needs to be redone. Next, I downloaded icons and placed them to add to make it more visually appealing to the users. As you can see, downloaded icons and placed them inside the circles. This will help make this easily scannable to our user. Adjusted the size for each so it is aligned. Next, I replace the icons. Since this screen is for the dashboard or home, only the home icon should be filled, and I will leave the other icons for workout, notifications, and profile empty or only outlined. This will indicate that we are in the dashboard screen. As you can see, only the home icon is filled, indicating we are in that screen. Next, since I am done, I used grid layout to make sure everything is aligned and margined correctly. As you can see, I adjusted it to make sure everything is aligned. I also use the rows to align the elements horizontally to make sure everything is spaced out evenly. This tool really helps a lot to make sure the cards are lined up perfectly. We can also use the ruler tool. Final adjustments of the icons. That's it for our wireframe. Once the low fidelity wireframe is complete, we can now create a high fidelity mockup. So update the header by replacing placeholder elements with vibrant gradient background. As you can see, I added linear gradient to this section to make it stand out. We also replaced the color of the text to make it more visible to our users and adjusted the spacing and alignment. Then I replaced icons with colored illustrations. Then use button components. I replaced the color of the icons to make it visually stand out. Especially this start workout button, it needs to stand out as this is what primarily the users will click. As you can see, I changed the card color to white. Next, I added visual indicators like progress rings and iconography to make the data more digestible to our users in this card. We also added drop-down shadows to each card to make them pop up. So for the challenges, add a brand aligned color backgrounds for the challenge cards. I integrate icons that match the fitness, theme, and style the joint buttons to be inviting and more interactive to our users. So for our performance metrics card, I converted the basic bar graph into a colorful and informative chart using contrasting colors to highlight growth and space out the bars for clarity. As you can see, we changed the font size and font color of our supporting text. Next, to make our bar graph visually appealing, I added a pop of blue color to match the theme of this fitness app. This will make everything visually aesthetic for the end users. I also added a horizontal line at the bottom. For the quick access, I added colors to each Then added icons, aligning them with the overall scheme. I used consistent spacing and make sure they are aligned with each other. You can use auto layout for this to make sure they are aligned. Then I replace the color of the card. Finish by applying colors to our bottom navigation bar. Since we are in the home screen, we will add a filling to the home icon, indicating that we are inside that icon. I'm adding finishing touches to our dashboard. Make sure everything is aligned perfectly. As you can see, once our high fidelity mockup is complete, we can now make a mockup. So I used this Figma plugin called mockup to create this. I only paste the frames that I want to use into this and created the mockup. As you can see, here is the final result. It looks like a real application. So this mockup allows us to see what our high fidelity screen will look like inside a real phone.